The bones spoke. That was before I heard the bones speak. And I swear on my life, bones should never speak. It happened when I was 16, during one long vacation when my parents sent me from Accra to my grandfather's village in the Volta region. Back then, the place still had no proper streetlights. At night, the darkness felt alive, like something was breathing in it. The elders in the village had a rule. No one should go near the old burial ground after sunset. They never explained why. Of course, that only made boys like me curious. My grandfather lived in a mud house at the edge of the village. Every evening, he sat outside on a wooden stool chewing cola nut and watching the road. One night, I asked him about the burial ground. He stopped chewing. "Who told you about that place?" he asked. "Just heard the boys talking," I said. He stared at me for a long time. "Listen to me carefully," he said quietly. "Some bones are not supposed to rest." I laughed. I thought it was another old village story meant to keep children from wandering around at night. He didn't laugh. "If you ever hear bones talking," he said, "run. Do not answer them." At the time, that sentence sounded ridiculous. Later, I would remember every word. 2 days later, my friends Kojo and Senna came to see me. They had heard I was from the city and wanted to test my courage. "Let's go to the burial ground tonight," Kojo said with a grin. "People say the dead walk there." I should have said no. But when you're 16, pride is stronger than fear. So that night, when the moon was thin and the village was quiet, the three of us slipped out. The burial ground sat behind a small forest, about 15 minutes from the village. As we walked, the air felt strangely cold. No insects, no frogs, no sound. Even Senna noticed it. "Why is it so quiet?" he whispered. Kojo forced a laugh. "Because you're scared." But I could see his hands shaking. When we reached the burial ground, the moonlight showed dozens of old graves. Some were broken. Some were sinking into the ground. Others had bones sticking out where the soil had washed away during the rainy season. The place smelled like wet earth and something rotten. Kojo picked up a stick and poked one of the graves. "See?" he said. "Nothing here." Then we heard it. A small clicking sound. Tick, tick, tick. At first, I thought it was stones rolling together. But then it came again. Tick, tick. And it sounded like teeth. Senna grabbed my arm. "Did you hear that?" Before I could answer, something moved inside one of the broken graves. A skull slowly rolled out of the dirt. All three of us froze. Then the jaw moved. Click, click, and a dry voice came from the skull. "Who is there?" My body went cold. Bones do not talk. But that skull was speaking. Kojo dropped the stick. "Let's go," he whispered. But the skull spoke again. "Stay." More dirt began to shift. Another skull appeared. Then another. And another. Within seconds, bones started sliding out of the graves. Skulls, ribs, arm bones, leg bones. They moved across the ground like insects crawling through dry leaves. Soon they formed a circle around us. The clicking sounds grew louder. Click, click, click. Every skull began moving its jaw. And together they whispered one sentence. "You came to wake us." Senna started crying. "I'm sorry," he shouted. "We didn't mean to." The bones kept whispering. "You came to wake us?" Then one skull rolled closer to me, so close I could see dirt inside its eye sockets. "Will you stay with us?" That's when I remembered my grandfather's words. "If you hear bones talking, run." I grabbed Senna and ran. Kojo ran beside us. Behind us, the bones began moving faster. I could hear them scraping across the ground. Hundreds of pieces of bone chasing us through the dark. The forest branches slapped my face as we ran. Then I heard something that still gives me nightmares. Footsteps. But they were wrong. Instead of soft human steps, it sounded like sticks hitting rocks. Clack, clack, clack. The bones were following us. And they were getting closer. We finally reached the edge of the village. Suddenly the sounds stopped. No bones. No clicking. Just silence. We turned around slowly. The path behind us was empty. Nothing was there. No skulls. No bones. When I returned home, My grandfather was waiting outside. He looked at our faces and sighed. You went there, he said. It wasn't a question. I nodded. They spoke, I whispered. He closed his eyes. Many years ago, he said, there was a sickness in this village. People died faster than we could bury them. The burial ground became restless. I asked him something that still bothers me today. Why did they ask us to stay? My grandfather stared into the dark forest. Because, he said quietly, the dead do not like being lonely. Ending. I left the village a few days later and returned to Accra. I tried to forget everything, but sometimes at night, when my room is quiet, I hear a faint sound. Click, click, like teeth knocking together. And sometimes, just before I fall asleep, I hear a dry whisper in the darkness. Come back. Just darkness. Kojo collapsed on the ground, breathing hard. None of us spoke for a long time.